much rather get take the rewards and the downsides of running my own business. If the business doesn't have the money, you can't spend the money. I know it's hard work. You don't necessarily need a vision of exactly what you want to do. If you're able to start and look around, you'll be able to find something along the way.
Welcome to my channel. In case you're new here, please remember to subscribe, make sure you like, comment, share and turn on your notification bell so you get notified once I post a video. And let's get to the video. Hello guys, in this episode I get to feature an amazing entrepreneur who's here in Bristol, England, and she runs a business where she imports products from Japan, and this is Japonicat. Join me and let's get to know about it.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
What's your name?
My name's Jane.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I just want to know what you do in your business and what kind of business do you run?
Well, we import stock from Japan, so it's Japanese designed, and we've got sort of focus on things being really super cute. Yeah. So we've got the sort of Sanrio stuff where it really does that, but also we do some traditional stuff as well. And all sorts of different things, it kind of depends on what I find when I go over there. But we sort of tie it all together with a cat theme because, who doesn't love cats?
Oh, wow. Is it kind of baby products or is it just
Nope.
for anyone?
No, any age. We've got from little people that come in here all the way up. It doesn't, there doesn't seem to be a sort of age group to it. It's not, we're not a toy shop. We just sell cute stuff, and there's a lot of nostalgia involved, especially with like the Sanrio products. People grew up with Hello Kitty and stuff, so that's a kind of a little bit of a nostalgia thing for them as well. But I just think the cute stuff, it's just so lovely, it's so sweet and innocent, and people are finding it really appealing.
Yeah.
So,
what do I need to know about you, or you as yourself, so I can understand your journey as an entrepreneur?
This was all just a complete mistake. None of it was meant to happen. I don't really know what happened, but once it started working, I just sort of ran with it. There was no plan involved at all. It just sort of happened, and I ended up going to Japan a few years ago, and it turned out that I was sort of getting things definitely in the right direction. So carried on from there, and it's just got better and better and better. People just seem to really like the Japanese. It's this sort of simplicity of it, I think. The design is just so sweet and lovely. But yeah, it was never meant to happen, and fortunately it has, and it's just been an absolutely fantastically hard work journey with only a clear direction in the last few years, really. Before that, it was just sort of trying and seeing what was going to happen. But yeah, so no magic formula, no plan, no. There is now, of course. We've got more of a plan now. I've got more now. I've got a sort of definite direction of what I'm doing. Obviously, that makes a big difference. And as you know, we've just been told that we can have the shop next door, so we're going to be expanding the shop, which is really exciting. So we can do more of this. So yes, now I have a plan.
Yeah. So when you started out, was this your first business that you ventured into, or did you have a try with other businesses and then it didn't sort of work?
Yeah, I've tried other stuff. I was a childminder for years back when my daughter was young, so that was running my own business. Obviously, a very different thing when you're running something from home and you're working with kids. And then shortly before I started doing this, I was actually making modelling balloons, making bouquets of flowers out of modelling balloons and selling those, which was quite nice but quite limited in a lot of ways. So yeah, this is definitely the best fun that I've ever of anything I've ever done. So.
What's been your biggest challenge when running this business?
There's been lots of challenges, really. You know, when you start something and you're not really sure what you're doing, everything's a challenge. You know, and sometimes what looks like a big challenge isn't the biggest challenge that you thought it was, and other things that are. You know, so it's I don't know. I think just having a bit of confidence in what I'm doing was probably the biggest challenge.
The problem is with mummies, she's very
accepting what people were saying. Oh, I love your business. This is great. This is great. And you know, learning to accept that was a really big thing. So now when people say you've got a great business, I say that, you know, because I'm really proud of it.
You sound like you put in too much work. In your business.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's, you know, there isn't really a work-life balance when you're doing something like this, especially if you do it on your own, because you know what you see here is just the tip of the iceberg. You know, we've got stock, you know, we've got back stock, we've got stock on the way. Everything still has to be organised in order, you know, to create this. So, you know, I may work in the shop in the day, but then when I go home, I've got a whole load of other work to do as well as the paperwork and all the other administrative stuff. But fortunately, in the last couple of years, I managed to take someone on, so they do half the week and I do half the week, which frees me up to go and do all the, what I call the backstage stuff. So it's, we're getting a bit more balance with it now, which is nice.
Yeah, you mentioned that you do have challenges, or you faced so many challenges on your way. What's kept you going?
I love what I do, and I love people's reaction to it. And when you get people coming in here and they go, "Oh, this is my favourite shop in the whole world," and that's, you know, that's the middle-aged blokes.
Yeah.
Never mind about anybody else. And when that happens several times a day, every day, it really, you know, it's so rewarding. I mean, obviously, it's nice to be making money because every penny was ploughed back in for years. I had no money for years, and now I'm just starting to actually, you know, pay myself a little bit of what I'm worth, which is nice. And that, you know, hopefully that'll continue. But you know, the motivation to get out of bed every day is this, because it's amazing. It's a wonderful environment to work in. The rest of the market is an absolutely fantastic place to be. You know, we've got a lot of people, a lot of other traders, or you know, we're sort of all in the same boat separately. But there's a lot of support here, and I couldn't have done it without being at St. Mary's. Couldn't have done it, and without the support for all these people here. So,
Yeah, you've mentioned the community aspect of being in the market. What are the social aspects of meeting people meant? What does it mean to you?
well, there's a lot of sort of shared knowledge, isn't there? You know, if you're struggling with something, you can go and ask somebody else. You know, we've got like a WhatsApp group now, which is great because we can ask each other questions, and you can do things like, you know, oh, does anybody want a shelf, or does, you know, and so there's that. And I wouldn't say it's like a family, but I'd say it's a very sort of, you know, everyone's got a lot in common because we're all doing the same sort of thing, you know, different businesses, but we're all in the same place running a business.
What is a good day in business?
Well, I mean, obviously, you know, a good day in business is having lots of customers, but for me, a good day in business is people coming in and telling me how much they like what I do, or telling me that they've come from a different city or even a different country, and that they've made this a point of their, you know, not the point of their visit, but this has been on top of their list to come and visit us here. Yeah, that.
What would a bad one look like? A bad day for you in business?
Do you know, we don't really get many bad days. I mean, obviously we get days where the takings aren't great, but that's not necessarily a bad day. You know, this is such a fun and happy shop. Come on, people are smiling when they come here. You know, there's a lot of laughter and a lot of happiness in this shop, and So what, a bad day might be just not as ecstatically happy as the other days. So there isn't really a bad day. You know, unless you've got to come in and you're really not feeling very well, you've got a cracking headache, that can be a bad day. But there's, you know, nothing really can go wrong, can it? You know, even if you don't sell anything, it hasn't been a waste of a day. Because people that have come in, you know, they'll come back. So there's no bad days. Yeah.
So for that entrepreneur who wants to start such a kind of business, but they've listened to you and they've had you do import your things from Japan, and they want to know that, like, if I do import things from Japan, I'd need to pay a lot more, and I do have little capital. Can you start such a business with little capital?
Yeah. Well, I started with 300 quid. You know, I'm not going to tell you what we're turning over now.
Yeah.
And it took quite a few years to start turning a profit, but it was just ploughing every penny back into it all the time. Fortunately, I have to say, I was receiving tax credits at the time, which is an absolutely fantastic system, which allowed me to, you know, to be able to eat and heat my home and stuff, as well as, you know, very carefully investing back into the business. So yeah, I mean, the systems have changed now, and there's universal credit, which couldn't have done it now, put it that way. Could only have done it with tax credits. Couldn't have done it with universal credit. So if anybody's on universal credit and looking at becoming self-employed and doing something like this, it's a lot different to a few years ago when I did it. And it's a shame, because it's going to stop this sort of thing happening.
Yeah. So you've mentioned that you sort of had a few years where you couldn't get any profit, or maybe a lot of turnover. I mean, there's too many businesses that break at the start, where you kind of start and you don't break even, or you don't get a profit. What is it that can motivate you to keep going in that kind of phase?
I think the thought of having to go and sign on the dole and jump through the hoops and be made to feel as if you weren't a worthy person, if you weren't, you know, working in some warehouse or something like that. You know, this is about choice. And I've always found it difficult to be employed by other people. You can find that a lot with people who start their own businesses, is they don't like working. It's not necessarily not liking working for other people, it's just that things don't work out. And I'd much rather get that, you know, take the rewards and the downsides of running my own business. So,
What's been the difference between running a business and a traditional job?
well, I can't say I set my own hours, because the market always open 9:30 to 5, so we're kind of, you know, we're within that. But it's, at the end of the day, anything that happens is down to me. And if I'm a bit lazy with something and it doesn't happen, it's my fault. Whereas if my boss is a bit lazy about something and it doesn't happen, it probably has a knock-on effect on the staff.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's about making your own choices, and you know, you do get out what you put in. You put a lot in, so, you know.
So for an aspiring entrepreneur who wants to maybe start such a business, maybe not importing from Japan, but just this kind of business, what would you tell them?
Well, the way I've done it is I've just not looked at what anybody else is doing. I've not considered competition. I just haven't, because I think that would change the way I do things. I was trying to sort of adhere to, you know, the method of opening and running a business.
Yeah.
I don't know, would that push me into a different sort of box? I don't know, but now, you know, I've been sort of free to explore what I want to do, because I haven't looked at anybody else. I mean, obviously, you know, if the business isn't making money, I'm not going to flog a dead horse. You know, I'm you know, and it's just, everything is just very slowly. If the business doesn't have the money, you can't spend the money. We've never borrowed, and we never will. You know, in that way, you know, we're always solvent, and I think that's an important thing, is, you know, taking out loans and stuff. And maybe that's the only way that some people can start businesses. And like I say, I was very fortunate at the time with the way that I started it and the times that I started it in, to have been allowed that leeway to do this and put those years in of really not having two pennies to rub together, but having the foundation of something that I knew could probably be really good. And now it is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it looks really nice.
I love it. I just love it.
And my last question would be, what is one thing as an entrepreneur that you know for sure?
I know it's hard work, and I know that you never really know what's going to happen, and you don't necessarily need a vision of exactly what you want to do. If you're able to start and look around, you'll be able to find something along the way, you know, try a few things and see what works for you, and then just be prepared to not have any life for quite a while. I think a lot of luck as well, a whole lot of luck. Got very lucky coming into St Nick's. You know, it's a council-run market, so the rents aren't phenomenal, which is really nice, and it's exactly for the sort of traders that we've got in here, is to allow us to do this. So this is a really, you know, if you know, that would be a bit of advice if you can get into a council-run market, or if you're doing something like a shop or a service, then it's a really good start because it's very secure, it's very safe, and there's a lot of support.
So we've come to the end of the video, guys, and I'm just gonna ask you, could you share your social media platforms and tell them where you're located, so for those people who do live in Bristol?
Right, yeah, we're in St Nick's Market in Bristol. We're in the Exchange Hall. Look for the big unicorn, but I'm sure you'll spot us. We've got a Facebook page, which is Japonicat, so you can always follow us on that. And you never know, one day we may get a website, but we're a destination shop. We like to meet our customers in person, so do come on down.
Thank you, guys. That's it from me, guys. It's bye-bye.
Thank you.